Hey, Crown Content Publications followers, viewers, and supporters. Thank you for tuning in to another segment with the Crown Content Publication Services family, where publishing and marketing do meet. If you want to learn more about our mission to serve as authors and freelancers just like you, visit our website, www.contentcrownpublications.com. This is where you can find information to schedule and book your consultation for publishing or business consulting services. We target our services to more of the entrepreneur freelance community because, we know how much work comes with what you guys do on a day-to-day basis, and we offer a list of variety of services that may be able to assist you. So everybody's consultation, their first one is free, so you don't want to miss out on that. And you can also find Crown Content Publication merch on the website this year. Even if you're interested in a new platform to promote your book on and earn 100% of your royalties. Yeah, that's one thing about Crown Content Publications. We're not looking to make a percentage, even if we help you publish. Our job is just to offer those publishing services. We're not looking to keep percentages or join contracts with you in publishing deals and stuff like that. So, anyways, if you saw the title of this segment, it is how gas prices are affecting our everyday lives, right? And who's not talking about this? I mean, as far as the level of small talk in the media and abroad. Okay, so I thought I would do some research because see, when things happen, chain effect reactions happen behind them. This is just the cause and effect law of life. Okay, and oftentimes when these chain of reaction things begin to happen, we wait a little late to start setting stipulations or kind of put in a third wheel party of help to keep things from getting worse, I guess, if I can put it in those words. So I'm not Fox, I'm not any big media company. I'm just a commenter on news that happens as it happens. And why I think my comments matter is because I'm a very humble person. I come from a place of struggle and adversity myself, even before the pandemic, okay? So all I can do is speak from a concise and fair point of view when I give my opinions and comments on certain topics, okay? So I mentioned that I'm not a part of Fox at all, but it's funny that I literally referred to an article published by them April 2nd of 2022, and they were also discussing just a little bit more details about how the U.S. energy infrastructure works and the type of laws and regulations that were changed recently in the United States when it comes to these things. So anyways, if my segment is called How Gas Prices Can Begin to Affect Everyday Work and Life Functions, I would like to start there. You see, I don't know if we all think about it on a day-to-day basis. This is bigger than gas prices rising. This is bigger than inflation. As a matter of fact, another article, this was not by Fox. This was by some other research I was looking into. For sure, there are Californians who have been making this gruesome trip across the border and into Mexico lately in the past 2 weeks, just for the gas prices that they can afford. And yes, in these certain places in parts of Mexico, gas is still $3, right? I'm not saying $3 exactly, but you can find $3.65, $3.89 is even better than the $4.50, $4.80 prices that we can see here in the United States. Supposedly this is because, Mexico kind of owns their own, they own lots of oil, first of all, and oiling locations, drilling locations, but they still do a lot of business, from my understanding and research. They still do a lot of business with the United States for several reasons. I'll let you guys go do the research. There's nothing wrong with it, but before inflation, Mexico had its reasons for why it chose to merge with the United States in business when it comes to oil and their oil drilling locations there. But yes, many Californians were interviewed, and if you were just to go to Mexico to these gas stations, you could clearly see lots of Californian new license plates at the gas pumps. And it wasn't because people were just there on vacation. They're traveling on vacation, all right, just to win those cheaper prices. So I thought that was interesting. I was like, would I be willing to make a trip that far just for gas? And they're saying they're going there to fill up. But I'm like, wouldn't you be on like half by the time you got back to California? But see, I haven't got to talk to anybody personally who has made these trips for these reasons. But it's an interesting ordeal here. So yeah, people have been traveling, driving, waiting in long lines of traffic, crossing the border just for gas. One man claims he has to do it because he has to save as much money as he can. He's on fixed income, right? He's not working, right? He's probably a Social Security recipient or whatever, but he thinks driving to Mexico is a gas saving deal for him, okay? And he's willing to make this trip just to keep his tank full. So if you didn't know about that, it's something to go look up, research, look into. I'm not advocating or promoting that anybody do it, but it's very interesting. You already have citizens driving past the border of Mexico just for better gas prices, and yeah, they think it's worth the trip. So I never thought I'd see the day, but it is what it is. Many reporters and researchers, though, in my research, discovered oil issues and inflation possibilities, and just gas going up and rising was a real possibility and a factor that was being considered before the war in Russia and UK even began, okay? And this supposedly had to do with drilling permits, a drilling permit law that was kind of reconstructed by the Biden administration in 2021. I'm trying to put it in words you guys can understand, but the new law says that all drilling applications must be approved by federal levels of authority, and if they're not, you are no longer able to drill there. So once again, this did go into effect in 2021. Whatever this new law regulation is, somewhere in between 2020 and 2021. Once again, long before we saw the prices filling up, and you're probably like, what does that have to do with well, never before had I guess how this used to work when businesses or companies or whoever would find locations to drill oil and start drilling and getting this oil or whatever, starting businesses out of it. They could just do this. I mean, now the application part was always a part of it. I forgot the name of the application, but there's some application that has to be approved before you even begin drilling oil somewhere. The point is, what was changed is that now applications to drill on federal land in America have to be approved by federal levels, okay? So they're saying that this may have caused a in-between glitch or stipulation when it came to because I was seeing it too in the news, like, what's really going on here? I had the same question. So I know this much as far as my research. It's not necessarily that there's nowhere to drill or that we don't have oil right here, but you do have to have your application approved by federal level authorities to drill there now, as long as the Biden administration is in control. Am I saying it's right or wrong? No, I don't know why the president set this in place and in order for whatever reasons he felt necessary, but what we see now is sanctions on a lot of things in the country of Russia, and this is supposed to be to our way of fighting back or helping to stand with Ukraine. And it's just funny, at first, the first 2 or 3 weeks of the war, you saw everybody saying they stand with them. I'm not saying that I'm seeing less of it, but what I am seeing, the last thing I saw about it is that they are discussing more sanction possibilities, more levels of sanctioning, because this other, I forgot the name of it, there was a big city here. Today's date marks April 4th, 2022, There was a big city that was attacked recently. Not Kyiv or whatever the name. Not these other ones y'all been hearing about. This one happened within the past 72 hours. Another great city of Ukraine was greatly terrorized and damaged. So they are discussing raising sanction levels at this time. Just raising the sanctions on more things than they had already begun to do. These are more things that can begin to affect our economy all the way around, and economies around the world that were previously doing business, whether it was from oil and tech or banking. This is affecting other countries. Just putting the sanctions on them and their business is slowing down. We had to have known that would bring some type of effect to the countries that are placing these sanctions and other countries that are agreeing. Now, standing with a country that's being attacked is never wrong, but it's crazy we live in a day where you have to ask yourself, which one affects my life more or less? Anybody can think, okay, if this was happening to me, I would want other countries to stand up and sanction the countries that's attacking me. But either way it goes, regardless of what country is doing what, when you have the cycle of sanctioning going on globally, Australia, China, the United States, you have to expect that economies begin to be affected. So, how does gas prices rising begin to affect everyday life? Just not things you guys don't know, but this is a discussion here on my podcast show about it. For example, we can start with ambulances. Vehicles like ambulances, fire trucks, and patrol cars, deputies, and things like this. These are things I would consider first priority. Mail trucks, mail delivery trucks, Amazon delivery trucks. I'm not going to even name Amazon and mail carriers yet. We're talking about first emergency responders first, right? Because even if a diesel, something else that has to be fueled by oil, even if diesels needed to fill up first, when it comes to talking levels of priority, it would be those ambulances and fire trucks that we need to keep, because these are the people who are the first responders. Even if a oil truck crashes on the highway, or helicopter crash, right? Even if it's a helicopter crash, something else that has to be fueled by oil, it's still those first responders who need the oil to even be able to transport to those emergency situations that we do unfortunately see on a day-to-day basis. So if these guys don't have first dibs, I guess you can call it, to oil, regardless of the prices, what would begin to happen to our society, right? And this is just something starting with oil, okay? Without oil, these first responders are not able to get. So it's not at that level yet, but yes, we got to know they're probably feeling the strains of these effects as well, and we just want to keep those type of people and our respect for them at an all-time high, because and just remember that even in this crisis, these are the people I feel like are priority, because if they're not at work, doctors, ambulances, firefighters, we literally don't have first responders to emergency situations. I'm like, is anybody talking about this? Now I'm going to start talking about mail trucks, carriers, delivery drivers, Uber Eats, DoorDash, and things like these. These people also use oil to keep their business of transportation running and to be able to deliver services like groceries and mail delivery, etc. How much slower? We saw this in 2020, especially if you were a drop shipping business already. Amazon felt it too for a little while. Some of all of the delivery website apps and servicers did feel it. Why? Because even if you were still in the business of shipping, mail was so backed up. I remember this from 2020. Y'all done fell asleep on what's done happened before. And the thing about natural disaster or crisis situations, once you go through them, I don't know about other people, but once you go through them, it should elevate your level of thinking, your emergency plan. You should always have one then, right? If you saw how something affected you the last time, you saw how people were running to buy toilet paper and water the last time. But this is not about toilet paper and water. This is about how I remember when mail was so backed up, regardless of how big of a drop shipping business you were. FedEx, I think some of their people, I'm just using FedEx for example, this is not even UPS, Amazon yet, warehouses. But some people felt so overwhelmed and overworked. Forget the fact that they were getting overtime and bonus pay and pay raises just to keep people at work so we could fix these backed up mail crises, okay? People began to quit because they felt either this drained, this overworked, like they literally couldn't handle the work capacity. Anyway, somehow we did make it out of that phase because, you know, packages started to go out. You know, people were still able to send mail accordingly and receive mail. What I'm speaking on is how long in the year 2020 when these mail backups and warehouse backups first began to happen, how long we were expecting to receive certain things. It didn't matter if you had ordered 20 things of Clorox wipes, okay? You thought you were being smart because you ordered 20 things of Clorox wipes from eBay or wherever you got them from. But it still took 2 to 3 weeks longer than the average wait time, which your average wait time might already be 1 to 2 weeks. When it comes to certain drop shipping companies and things like this, delivery companies and things like this, you expected to add on another 2 to 3 weeks with the original shipping time that you had, and it didn't matter. I think even expedited shipping times went up. Okay, so let me stay on topic here. Mail delivery trucks and oil prices and how this might begin to affect their work and their service to society, okay? These would also be considered to me priority because without delivery, not just the trucks, but without them being able to fuel and fill up their vehicles to continue their business with FedEx, UPS, Amazon, and things like this, we can expect business to be slowed down. And for anybody who just haven't put their finger on how grocery stores begin to see less and less, not just workers, but less and less on the shelves, it's things like this. Not just oil prices, but the demand, the supply demand here lately in the past 2 years on certain products has definitely gone up. And what happens when supply demands go up? Prices go up anyway. What is it called? Supply and demand. You got 1 million more people demanding one product than 2 to 3 years before. Yeah, you're gonna have to raise the taxes just a little bit at least to keep the supply of that demand, you know, up to par. Okay. Yeah. So I already talked about deliveries to stores. This is why stores began to look how they did. You know, it took me doing my own research because living in a time like today, you just didn't see like, why is people saying stock up? Why is people doing? You just think they're conscious. They're being what is that called? Where they panic buying things like this. No, this is serious. If you saw what happened in 2020 and things were so backed up that when it came to the mail and products being delivered, if you saw that even your mail could have been set back a little bit. It could have been set back, like I said, shipping was being 2 to 3 weeks added on to something as simple as your shipping delivery time. You know, why wouldn't you begin to stock up now? Because unfortunately, gas prices do affect everyday life, and it affects us in ways. This is why I'm pointing out certain things, just for example, but it affects you in ways that you wouldn't. Once again, we take things for granted until it's not there anymore. Most definitely, we take the bees for granted, right? The bees, we swarm at them, we swipe at them with our fly swatters, not knowing that they have a job to do in nature. Without the bees, we wouldn't have this pollen transferred to this place and whatever they do when it comes to plants in society and in the environment, right? It's just an example. Like, we don't appreciate food until we're hungry. We don't appreciate oil until the prices are over what we're used to seeing. We don't appreciate the very idea or reality of what we call freedom until our country is being flooded with immigrants, and now there has to be more stipulations and laws, not just for us all to get along, but so that everybody can society can continue to function into some normalcy. That's another thing, guys. Like, I believe just last week I told y'all today's date marks April 4th, 2022. Yeah, 150,000, it might be more, Ukrainian citizens were approved to be able to come to the United States. It is what it is. All at the same time, you still have Haitian and Hispanic, Mexican, I can't say Americans, still fighting for their citizenship here in this country, still crossing borders as we speak, and whatever's going on the borders of Texas. So yeah, you talking about population rising, not just from all the births and things that's going on, but now you got more immigrants joining the country. Canada also opened up citizenship, you know what I mean, just welcoming immigrants to come over, you know what I mean, not just to work, but to go to school, to help literally keep society together. What does that tell you guys? So that's cool. You quit your jobs. I mean, and that's just what it is. I don't know how many other countries went through that, but the United States most definitely saw a great resignation, period. And we think picking on one or two people is going to fix the problem. If the news said millions quit, then that's a fact. Millions have already done that, either for better positions or a new type of field of work, or for better pay. Okay. Better working conditions, better working hours that would support their families through a pandemic, okay? So it's like blaming and picking on a person here or two or three doesn't change the bigger picture of the fact that the Great Resignation was a real deal here. At the same time this is happening, you have immigrants that are definitely, if they just lost everything and they're having to start over, they're definitely going to come in the picture, taking advantage of every opportunity, every work opportunity put before them, if they'll be approved for it. So we just want to think about that, you know. Don't be so unappreciative of something until it's gone, or until it's no longer a right, or until it's no longer, you know what I mean, to your benefit as it once was before. Now you have people parking their cars unless they necessarily need to go somewhere because gas is a little higher. But people should have been doing that a long time ago. It would be less crime. It would be just less drama all the way together. People should sit at home. Since the beginning of this thing, everybody's had a problem with staying at home. Staying at home, minding their business, right? Staying out of the way of the pandemic virus, keeping themselves protected at all costs. And at one point, it was so many programs assisting with rent, just so you would stay home. People still wasn't doing it. They act like they would die if they didn't get out and get a breath of fresh air and be able to socialize and party and go out. This is how people responded. And it made you see the level of mentality that society is on today. They still wanted to go out just to prove that they went out, that they can still live their lives through a global pandemic. But now what do we see? Well, China's on lockdown. A city in China, I forgot the name of it. Shanghai? I might be wrong. They're on lockdown as we speak. And other cities there. Because COVID just rose again. And this is also going on in Europe. And because we still do so much business, even as far as shipping, we don't think about stuff like that. Okay, they can be as protected as they want to and have on the suits and stuff just to keep sending products to third world countries to stay in business with them, but it does not mean that virus will not spread through a product or two, and that's how easy it gets to America. But anyways, if we thought that this thing just completely disappeared anyway, we're crazy. You know, all of a sudden mask mandates have dropped and eased everywhere. Because what do? Do you listen to the people and do what you think is best? Give them a little freedom with what they wear over their mouths, when they wear it, and if they get a vaccine or not, to keep down the drama as another war goes down. Man, I feel I feel the level of politics today and what they might feel when it comes to what's right and what's not. I'm gonna say what's best and what's not. Cause I mean, what did it help dropping mask mandates and opening up businesses again and opening up places to save the economy if people are right back getting sick? They say the numbers in China right now haven't looked like this since the year 2020, and this is 2022. That's telling you all you need to know right there. So not only that, but it's a mutating virus. It's one of those type of deals. Okay, flus do this. Other viruses might do this too. But if we already saw that this one has the capacity to attack the lungs and kill people, that's why a lot of people still choose to stay at home. This is not a game. They choose to stay at home. They have chosen to evolve their whole lives, because not only are you fighting the virus and trying to stay protected from that, you're fighting raising prices and trying to remain equipped with everything you need, medicines, food, whatever you need stocked up before whatever is about to happen happens. Plus a war and other things. It's crazy, y'all. They sanctioned China too recently, supposedly because of that missile they were over there playing with. Testing. They were just testing it. So you're going to sanction a country now for testing their own weapons. But I'm not expertised in these things. I just read the news. I read and listen to the news. And one chain effect decision has always caused chain effect reactions. That's been long before I even existed. So we're not the ones sanctioning countries. We're not the ones, but we're the ones stand with Ukraine. We stand with them, but we don't slow down to think about whether or not that's crazy. Some of y'all out there talking about y'all stand with Ukraine don't stand with your own family members. You don't stand with your neighbor. You don't stand with the employees at work. You can't even trust yourself, but you stand with Ukraine. I'm not here to talk anybody out of who they stand with, what side of the war, but this is a fact. Y'all can't unify. Y'all can't come together in your own cities, in your own countries. You're still fighting each other. You're still fighting human beings, but you stand with other human beings you've never met. And now the ones with family over there and business colleagues and things like that, that's different. And you do have a right to stand with them because they're over there, going through some things against their will. You just a random person talking about you stand with Ukraine for attention. It's just getting old. Yeah, you stand with them, but you don't stand with the fact that you cannot afford your gas and oil anymore. I guess people go through it long enough. Sorry, I'm trying to pull this chair up. They'll go through it long enough and then just to me, people are already walking, ticking, ready to explode about anything these days because, there's been nothing normal about the past 2 years. Anyways, that's my comment and opinion on how gas prices are beginning to affect everyday work life. I talked about ambulances, first responders, and mail carriers, truck deliveries to stores. But then, if it's a chain effect, one of the last people, they're the greatest to be affected, they are. But when it comes to chain priority, the cars are the citizens. And they have to be fueled. I thought that was so interesting. People are already driving to Mexico just for cheaper prices. And they're driving there. Would I do it? It made me ask myself that. I don't know how long the trip is, but these articles I'm reading about it is definitely Californians, they're already on it, okay? I don't know if any of the other bordering states will begin to take advantage that way, and I don't know how long Mexico will keep their oil prices where it is. These parts of Mexico that they're going finding these type of gas deals. But for now, and they're using their gas saving apps even at the Mexico pumps, okay? It's crazy. Now, as far as the quality of the oil there, they're saying that since, Mexico works closely with the United States as far as the oil business, there's been no complaint on the quality of oil for the people's cars who are traveling there for this type of gas. I never thought I'd see today, though, y'all. People are traveling to another country for gas prices, and they'll tell you on the news they feel like it is worth it. Thank you for tuning in to another segment with the Crown Content Publication Services family, where publishing and marketing do meet. And until next time, like and subscribe to this video to support.